Sarah was appointed as the personal representative of her mother's estate. At first, Sarah thought she could handle it. She had always been the organized one in the family, the one who kept track of birthdays and doctor's appointments. But nothing could have prepared her for the emotional weight that came with this responsibility. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wills, Women, and Wealth podcast. I'm Elsa W. Smith, your Maryland estate planning and probate attorney, and I'm thrilled to have you with us today. We're here to empower women who value their health, wealth, and the legacies they're creating. This podcast delves into a diverse range of subjects encompassing finance, law, mental, and physical health, and beyond. Our commitment is to furnish you with invaluable insights, engaging expert interviews, and enlightening episodes that address your questions on wills, estate planning, and probate matters. Remember, this is your community, and we want to hear from you. Engage with us, ask questions, suggest topics. Let's build a dialogue. Reach out to us on social media or leave a comment. Your input fuels the conversations we have. You can find all of our episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for our upcoming content. We appreciate your support. And if you enjoy the podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star review. Your review helps amplify our reach and brings our content to more listeners. And now, on with the podcast. Today's topic is grieving while managing probate. Today, we're going to talk about a particularly challenging experience that many people face, managing the probate process while grieving the loss of a loved one. Let's consider the story of Sarah, a hypothetical example created to illustrate these challenges. Sarah was appointed as the personal representative of her mother's estate. At first, Sarah thought she could handle it. She had always been the organized one in the family, the one who kept track of birthdays and doctor's appointments. But nothing could have prepared her for the emotional weight that came with this responsibility. Losing a parent is a unique kind of heartbreak. It's like losing a part of yourself, a piece of your history and identity. Sarah was still reeling from the shock of her mother's death, struggling to process her grief when the reality of her new role hit her. There were so many decisions to make, so many details to manage. It felt overwhelming. In the first few weeks, Sarah found herself caught in a whirlwind of paperwork and phone calls. She had to notify banks, cancel subscriptions, and deal with the utility companies. Each task was a painful reminder that her mother was really gone. She remembered holding the death certificate in her hands, feeling a lump in her throat as she read the words. It was so final, so absolute. Balancing grief with responsibilities was already difficult for Sarah. There were moments when she just wanted to collapse into bed and cry, but there was always something that needed to be done. She had to be strong. She had to keep moving forward, even when all she wanted was to stop and grieve. Family dynamics added another layer of complexity. Sarah and her siblings didn't always see eye to eye. There were disagreements about how to handle certain aspects of the estate, and at times, it felt like Sarah was in the middle of a battlefield. She wanted to honor her mother's wishes, but navigating the emotions and expectations of her family was a constant struggle. Sarah felt a tremendous amount of pressure to do everything perfectly, to make sure that every detail was handled with care. But in doing so, she often neglected her own emotional needs. There were days when she felt like she was on autopilot, just going through the motions. One of the hardest parts for Sarah was dealing with her mother's personal belongings. Sorting through her things felt like an invasion of privacy, yet it was something that had to be done. Every item had a story, a memory attached to it. Deciding what to keep, what to donate, and what to discard was an emotional minefield. It was like saying goodbye to her mother all over again with each item she touched. Despite the challenges, there were moments of solace for Sarah. She found comfort in small acts of remembrance, lighting a candle in her mother's honor, visiting her favorite park, or simply taking a moment to reflect on the happy times they shared. These moments helped her stay connected to her mother, even as she carried out her duties as personal representative. But let's consider how Sarah's experience might have been different if she had the help of a probate attorney. With professional assistance, Sarah could have delegated many of the administrative tasks, reducing her burden significantly. The attorney would have handled notifying creditors of the probate proceedings, gathering and processing financial statements, corresponding with banking institutions on her behalf, arranging for the appraisal of assets, filing the inventory, and filing the accounting. Delegating all of this would have allowed Sarah more time to process her grief and focus on her emotional well-being. A probate attorney could also have provided Sarah with clear guidance on the legal steps involved in probate, helping her avoid common pitfalls in making the process smoother and less stressful. They could have mediated family disputes, offering a neutral perspective and helping to resolve conflicts amicably. Having an attorney to lean on would have allowed Sarah to prioritize her own emotional needs without feeling guilty. She wouldn't have felt the same pressure to do everything perfectly, knowing that a professional was there to ensure everything was handled with care and expertise. The lawyer could have recommended a professional to help Sarah go through her mother's personal items, giving her guidance on what to keep, donate, or throw away, and dealing with the tougher emotional parts of the task with care and empathy. In hindsight, Sarah would have seen that getting help from a probate attorney was not just useful, but totally necessary. Having someone like that by her side could have made things easier, giving her comfort and allow her to mourn her mother's passing in a better and healthier way. As we reflect on Sarah's journey, it's clear that the guidance and support of a probate attorney could have made a world of difference. Now, a quick word from our sponsor, the law offices of Elsa W. Smith. Their mission is to empower women through estate planning. Are you in Maryland or DC embarking on your estate planning journey? Let us guide you through the process. Join us for a complimentary 15-minute call with a member of our team. There's no obligation. Check out the show notes for the scheduling link. Your first step towards securing your family's future starts here. So, what can we learn from Sarah's hypothetical experience? Here are 5 tips for anyone who finds themselves in a similar situation. Number 1, seek professional help. Don't hesitate to engage a probate attorney to assist with legal and administrative tasks. Their expertise can be invaluable. Number 2, take care of yourself. Make sure to prioritize your own emotional needs. It's important to find moments to grieve and process your loss. Number 3, communicate openly. Keep open lines of communication with your family. Try to address conflicts and disagreements with empathy and understanding. Number 4, find small comforts. Engage in small acts of remembrance that honor your loved one and bring you comfort. And lastly, number 5, be patient. Understand that it's a process. It's okay to feel overwhelmed, and it's okay to take things one step at a time. Being a personal representative while grieving is one of the hardest things someone can do. But as Sarah's story shows, having the right support can make a world of difference, teaching resilience, strength, and the power of love. To review, today's topic on wills, women, and wealth was grieving while managing probate. We explored the emotional complexities faced by those who serve as personal representatives while grieving the loss of a loved one. Through the hypothetical story of Sarah, a daughter navigating the probate process after her mother's passing, we delved into the challenges and emotional toll involved. We also shared practical tips for balancing these responsibilities with self-care and highlighted the invaluable support that probate attorneys can provide. I hope this episode offered you some insight and perspectives and helpful advice. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Wills, Women, and Wealth podcast. I'm Elsa W. Smith, your Maryland estate planning and probate attorney. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and take control of your legacy.